I'm feeling good, I got the monkey on my back and now I'm finally free. I gave my life over to Christ, he changed my life and now I'm finally free. Yeah. Don't have to carry no more weight up on my shoulders, now I'm finally free. Finally, oh yeah. So many things in life I had to give up on, but my God didn't give up on me. No, he didn't. He gave me another chance. Hey, I was blind, but now I see. Oh yeah, I finally gave my life to Christ, and now I'm finally free. Anything I need, my God provides for me. I just want to thank you, God, for loving me, taking care of me and my family. I had to clean up when I messed up, starting my life over again. Now I'm finally free. I'm feeling good, I got the monkey on my back and now I'm finally free. I gave my life over to Christ, he changed my life and now I'm finally free. Yeah. Don't have to carry no more weight up on my shoulders, now I'm finally free. Finally, oh yeah. People talk that what they do and what they say can't stop my moves. Let me say a thing or two about what God can do for you. I know he did it for me, I know that he'll do it for you, because I am living proof of what my God can do for you. People change, but my God won't change. I weather the storm with a smile on my face. Singing hallelujah is the higher praise. Lord, I want to thank you for another year. I've been changed. The angels in heaven done shine my name. Gave my life to Christ and now I'm finally free. Anything I need, my God provides for me. I just want to thank you, God, for loving me, taking care of me and my family. He took the shackles off my feet, now I can dance and now I'm finally free, finally free. This was for the people in the world who believe in Jesus, believe in Jesus. He took the shackles off my feet, now I can dance and now I'm finally free, I'm finally free. This was for the people in the world who believe in Jesus. I'm feeling good, I got the monkey on my back and now I'm finally free. I gave my life over to Christ, he changed my life and now I'm finally free. Don't have to carry no.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ARP in the morning. It's your host, Wise Man. Appreciate y'all guys pulling up this morning as always. I hope all is well. And I want to give a quick shout out, man, to my guy, Big Job Ford, man. We are keeping you in the thoughts and prayers, man. I know your mother's going through a situation. She's in hospice right now, man. So I just want to make sure I give you some love and just let you know that we are thinking about you here in the family, man. I know you'll watch this a little later on today, man, but God bless you and your family. I appreciate you guys, man. And I want to show some love real fast to Zeph RK9, first in the chat. Shout out to you, sister. Appreciate you pulling up, as always, keeping things peaceful in the chat. Shout out to Scott Young. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from, city, state, country. Shout out to Michael Simmons. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. PK Krillin, I know he said service is a little terrible this morning. It's not working out this well this morning for him, but hopefully he'll watch the stream a little later on. But shout out to you, brother. Tennessee in the building. As you can see, I'm representing Tennessee. NCAA tournament starts starts today. UT in the building, man. Got a good chance to make a good run. We'll see how that works out. Shout out to Eric Smith, DC in the building. Special K, Tampa Bay in the building. What's happening? Good morning to you. What's up, Buddha? How you doing today? We got NY in the house. Ed Mar, Mississippi in the building. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you pulling up as always. Allie Summers, how you doing this morning? God bless you. Good morning to you. Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, David? How you doing today? He says, I was wondering, how does one get gifted a membership? I'm relatively new to the channel, been watching for about 2 months now. David, I'm not exactly sure how people are chosen when someone gifts an ARP membership. I'm not exactly sure how and who gets it. I'm not aware. I don't have anything to do with that, and I'm not really sure how those memberships are, gifted or given. I'm not really sure. I don't have an answer to you for that. Shout out to everybody pulling up this morning. Appreciate you. What's up, Redefined Queen? How you doing this morning, sister? Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Nanny's Take on the World? Yeah, every now and again, we try a different song. That song right there is from Tonio Armani. It's a really, really nice track, man. So, every now and again, we'll switch it up between the ARP, theme and, some other things out there as well. Thea Flies High. Appreciate you pulling up. BT out of Tennessee in the building. You see I'm representing today for my Tennessee brethren. We got a lot of folks from Tennessee that watches the channel, and I appreciate you guys. I don't know if you guys know that, but, I was born in Knoxville, Tennessee. That is the state. My grandmother lives there currently. My uncle lives there currently. I have a lot of family in Knoxville, East Knoxville, that is. I have a lot of family in Tennessee, period, between East and Central out in the Nashville area as well. Shout out to Lori Otson. Appreciate you, Ottoson. Appreciate you pulling up. Shout out to Gerard Caswell. $5 super chat. Thank you very much for always supporting the channel, brother. God bless you, your family, everybody. Appreciate you pulling up this morning. This with the super chat. It says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Psalm chapter 30, verse 5. Good morning, everyone. May God bless you and shine on you every day. Thank you very much, Gerard Caswell, man. We appreciate that. Thank you very much, man. Oh, yeah. We got Bama in the building. What up, Mark? Tennessee in the building. Shout out to you. Buddha in the house. Appreciate you. Marla, appreciate you pulling up this morning. Thank you very much. Make sure you guys hit that like button for me. What's up, Miko? How you doing this morning, sister? Oregon in the house. What up, B? How you doing this morning, sister? And you know what, B? I was meaning to reach out to you. Jeff did reach out to me. He shot me a text message to let me know what happened, man. I'm sorry that happened. That is so crazy, but I'll reach out to you. I'll shoot you a text just so you'll have my number, and that way you can get a hold of me directly. But appreciate you pulling up as always. Hope all is well, at the house as well, man. What's up, Terry? How you doing this morning? David, how you doing this morning? Steve, how you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. Shelby out of Lynn, Alabama, checking in. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. What's up, Marianne? How you doing this morning, sister? Oh, yeah. Brian Lewis, how you doing this morning? All right. Is that BX? Miko said gas was only $2.75. I don't know, is that high or is that low? I don't know. I'm not really sure. Our gas has actually come down a little bit. The egg prices have come down just slightly, a little bit out here. Yeah, for those of you guys that don't know, I'm in Maryland. It's not looking so well, man. I think I'm gonna have to, I've been talking about it, man. I've been thinking I'm gonna have to get up out this state, man, because our daggone governor is running the state into the ground. He came in with a daggone surplus. We're at a $3 billion deficit. They're talking about raising taxes on everybody. They're raising taxes on companies. McCormick is threatening to leave. That's one of the two Fortune 500 companies that we have remaining in this state. And they're threatening to leave because the governor decided that they want to, raise taxes on companies. It's ridiculous out here, man. I feel like I need to put this thing on sale and get up out of here. I need to get back down south anyway. I need to get somewhere where it's warm around this time of the year. I don't mind the winter, but I don't like it when it's 30 degrees in May. And for those of you guys that live in Maryland or live up in this general neck of the woods in the DMV, you know what I'm talking about. It can be 30 degrees in May. It's ridiculous. It really is. We got Caldwell, New Jersey in the building. What's up, Lena? How you doing this morning, sister? Appreciate you. Brady, appreciate you pulling up. Shout out to Gerard Caswell, gifting the Righteous Perspective membership. Appreciate you, brother, as always. God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, and please keep Big Job Ford in your prayers. Please keep him in your prayers. His mother is in hospice, and we just want to make sure that we keep him lifted up and his family lifted up. I know it's a trying time, man, when you're dealing with stuff like that. So a lot of times it's just, it's just being strong, for those, in the family while you're going through something tough like this, man. So keep them in your prayers if you could. What's up, Terry? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. What's up? Is it Christy Lena? Appreciate you pulling up this morning. Someone gifted her a ARP membership a couple of days ago. She wants to say thank you. Absolutely. Kansas City, Missouri in the building. Jackson, Mississippi in the building. Indiana in the house. What's going on? All right. We got Massachusetts in the building. Cape Town, South Africa in the building. What's up, Marlene Clark? How you doing today, sister? Said it's 3:30 in the evening or afternoon there. All right, man. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Brady Starr says thank you. Gerard Caswell, I'm assuming that he was gifted the ARP membership there. So shout out to him. We got Connecticut in the house. Cali in the building. Absolutely. Oh, Miles. Oh, you thought the fatigue tea? It could be. It's not though. It's the fatigue UT volunteers cap, man. Yeah. No. Sino, I did not go to UT. That is not the college that I attended. Although, I mean, I guess technically, because I was born at UT Hospital way back when. I was born at UT Hospital, but my uncle played football for UT back in the day when Johnny Majors was the coach. Anybody that's a UT fan, y'all remember Johnny Majors from the 80s. Y'all remember him back in the day. He played there. One of my cousins, she went there and graduated. Actually, two of my cousins went there and graduated. And then obviously, that's the school. I mean, that is the pro team, in that area. Honestly, if you're in that Knoxville area, UT is it. It's pretty much everything in that area. So it's everything. Christ is King. Shout out to you. Appreciate you pulling up. Michigan in the building. Shout out to Allie Summers. Get a coffee on me. Happy Wednesday. Today is Tuesday, but hey, I'll take the $9.99 super chat. Thank you very much. God bless you, Allie. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. You're trying to move. The weeks already fly by fast enough as it is. If I'm not mistaken, I believe today is Tuesday. If I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me in the comment section or in the chat. But I believe today is Tuesday. These weeks do fly by, and it seems like the days are running together. It's crazy because we're already midway through or past the midway point of March. We're almost done with the first quarter of the year. I mean, it's crazy how fast this year is flying by. It really is. We got Memphis, Tennessee in the building, South Texas in the building, Nashville in the house. What up, Antoine? How you doing today, brother? Appreciate you pulling up. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. We got Hairball. Okay, so B said that the memberships, they are given at random and you can't choose. So I've never been given the option to say, okay, you, or you get anything. Yeah, I assume that it was just random and how that worked out. But appreciate that. We got Watertown, Wisconsin in the building. Absolutely. Appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate you pulling up as always. Thank you very much. We got Oklahoma in the house. What's up, baby lungs? How you doing this morning, sister? Minnesota in the house. Western New York in the building. PA in the house. Shout out to Cheshire's Insight. We got Ireland in the house. We're going to talk about one of your brethren over there today. We're going to talk about O'Connor going up to the White House today. Absolutely. What's up, David? How you doing today? We got Jillian Mansfield, Ireland. We got another Ireland individual in the crib, in the house today. All right, that's what's up. Northeast Tennessee in the house. Okay. Shout out to Terry for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Says morning from Fort Benning, Georgia. Love your show. First time watching live. Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate you pulling up. I would assume Fort Benning, your Army, and if so, thank you for your service. Thank you very much. We appreciate all of you guys that are veterans. We do have a lot of veterans. I'm a veteran myself, but we have a lot of veterans that support the channel and tune in on a day-to-day basis. What's up, True Texan? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you going on. What's up, Casper Cass? How you doing this morning? We got more West Texas in the building. All right. That's what's up. Yeah, B, I'm glad to hear, when Jeff told me, what happened, that's just baffling to me. I know of a story like that when I was growing up, not to get completely off topic, but I knew some kids that they stole a car and in their they were being pursued by the police and they jumped the curb and ended up running through somebody's house. It was really, really crazy. Fortunately, nobody passed during that incident, but they did cause some major damage to one's home. But yes, thank the Lord, man, that, all of you guys are safe and that nobody was injured. We can always replace things. We can't replace people though, unfortunately. And, so that's really, really good that you guys are good to go. Absolutely. All righty, let's get the show started here. We got Mississippi. I want to make sure I don't want to miss anybody. We got South Carolina. Yes, Zephyr, Maryland's going to be the new daggone California. We're headed in that direction. That's what it looks like. And I want to be gone before that happens. All right, shout out to Sean Cross, says, good morning, everyone. Come back to Tennessee. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I don't know, man. Tennessee's kind of expensive too. I want to go somewhere where it's warm, but it's also, the cost is pretty cost efficient. The Nashville area is expensive. Even Knoxville has gotten expensive. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It really is. But let's get things kicked off, man. We could do this for 20 minutes, going through this. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody on the super chat side of things. Shout out to Allie Summers. Happy Tuesday. Correction, $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much. As I always say, super chats will stop the show. Super thanks will stop the show. Anybody that joins the ARP or gifts an ARP membership will stop the show, will be acknowledged. I appreciate the love, appreciate the support, appreciate everybody that supports the channel. Appreciate you guys for pulling up this morning, as always. What up, RJ Hudson? How you doing this morning? Jeffrey Wisnett, how you doing this morning? Sevierville, Tennessee. Isn't too bad. Okay, I'll have to look into that. But I have some criteria. I have a little bit of criteria. When you get used to living in the area like where I live at, I do have some criteria about what I have to have in order to relocate to a new city. But that is something that I'm looking into in the near future. But as always, I appreciate you guys, man. Let's get the show started. Give me 1 second here.
We have is in this moment.
Listen to your constituents. Center them in this moment.
But I can tell you that there are a lot of people that are watching his leadership in this moment. This is the moment.
No, I think about what's happening, in this moment.
What's important is that we meet this moment.
So are these current Democrats the ones to meet the moment?
What do you want to see us doing right now in this moment?
And which Democrats are actually going to stand up against Elon Musk and Donald Trump in this moment?
The fight that you all are exhibiting is not just what the base wants, but it's what this moment requires.
Hey, new week, new script. It's like clockwork with these people, man. It's like clockwork with these people, man. New script every week. It's unbelievable, man. It is unbelievable. I feel like this is something that we're going to have to look at on a week-to-week basis. Every time something like this comes out, we got to look at it, we got to talk about it, and we have to expose these people. We have to. We got to jump into it because the bad news, it doesn't stop here for our friends over on the left. It just doesn't. We got to talk about the absolute disaster unfolding in the Democrat Party because it's historic, it's humiliating, it's hilarious, all at once. We are witnessing a political collapse unlike anything that we've ever seen before. The Democrat Party isn't just losing support, they are self-destructing at an unprecedented rate. And the numbers prove it. They're polling lower than Vladimir Putin. Let me say that again. They are polling lower than Vladimir Putin. The Democrat Party is currently viewed less favorably than the Russian president. And shout out to, hold up. Shout out to David. Appreciate the $4.99 super chat. No need for the shout out. Only trying to figure out this money part of YouTube and put a couple in yours. Appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Shout out to Lawnmower Detective for the $1.99 super sticker. Appreciate you supporting the channel as well. Thank you very much. Definitely appreciate that. Let's keep it rocking, man.
Trump sports his highest approval rating ever.
Okay, what's going on now?
Sports his highest approval rating ever, driven by strong, almost unanimous Republican support modest support from independents, and little from Democrats. But the president's economic approval has taken a hit here. The latest NBC poll showing President Trump's approval rating at 47%. That is a personal best for the president, up 4 points from when he left office in 2021. 51% disapproving of the job he's doing, down 4 points. Democrats should not take any heart from this poll. Their positive image rating dropped to an all-time low of just 27%. Only Russia and Vladimir Putin had lower ratings than the Democratic Party among those asked about in this poll.
This is ridiculous, man. Lower than Vladimir Putin. Oh, my goodness, man. I tell you, man. I tell you. That's how much a laughing stock that these people have become, though. How does a major American political party become less popular than a foreign adversary? How? Shout out to Eric Smith for the $2 super chat. Says defund, divest, disband, and debank the Democrats. I'm with you on all four of those. All four. I'm 1,000% with you. I mean, how did an American party become less favorable than a foreign adversary? How does that happen, man? It happens by being completely incompetent, corrupt, and completely out of touch with the American people. So why is the Democrat Party in a complete free fall? Why? Well, for one, it's probably because they're all fake. There's nothing real. There's no substance. But it's even more than that, though. There is a complete lack of leadership. And if you ask the average American who's leading the Democrat Party right now, you'll get a blank stare. They can't tell you. Some will say Chuck Schumer. Others will say Timu Barack Obama, Hakeem Jeffries. But nobody actually knows. And that's part of the problem. I mean, we know Schumer's Senate minority is the Senate minority leader. We know that. But they're turning against him. They're threatening him. What's up, Dion? How you doing this morning, sister? Appreciate you pulling up. They're threatening Chuck Schumer right now. They're asking for him to be primary. And they think that AOC is the answer. Shout out to Wade's Mustang Garage for the $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate you supporting the channel, man. They really believe that AOC can be the new face of the Democrat Party. They believe that. Shout out to Miko for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you super sticker. Thank you very much. Appreciate the support. Goodness gracious. They really believe it. Democrats are turning against Schumer. Big time. And because for whatever reason, they feel like he's not doing enough. He's not radical enough. He's not pushing back enough. So what do? They get this man to cancel his book tour. These people are, honestly, they're unbelievable. They really are.
Top Democrat in the House, Hakeem Jeffries, going as far as not saying he has confidence in Chuck Schumer. That was a remarkable moment on Friday. Now, we have learned that Schumer and Jeffries did meet behind closed doors yesterday in Brooklyn, trying to get back on the same page. They have huge and consequential fights ahead, but the backlash from the left is real. In fact, Wolf, Chuck Schumer is scheduled to do a book tour in a number of cities on a book that he has authored on anti-Semitism. He has just canceled that book tour, we are learning, because of protests that were scheduled from activist groups who wanted to go after his decision to agree and allow the government funding bill to go forward to avoid a government shutdown. They were furious at his decision to do that. It just shows you the anger on the left and the Democratic Party. Can they get it back together at this key moment when they are essentially leaderless in a lot of ways, essentially don't have a strategy on how to fight back against Trump, and have all this unrest on the Democratic base? That's going to be a big question for Schumer, but interesting that he decided to cancel this event. They're citing security concerns, but there were these large-scale protests, at least some protests scheduled outside these events.
Yeah, certainly that is notable. And it all comes, we should note, as the Democratic Party's favorability rating hit an all-time low, right? What's behind this?
Yeah, this is the lowest in CNN's polling in the last 30 years, a real warning sign for the Democratic Party right now. And it's really driven in large part, not just, as you can see on your screen, that 29% of voters have a favorable view of the Democratic Party. That is among all voters. But when you drill down into the numbers, Pamela and Wolf, the real issue is among Democratic voters themselves. They are starting to lose more and more confidence with their own party. And in fact, in that same poll, roughly 61% of Democratic voters view their party favorably. Compared to Republican voters, it's about 78% or so of Republican and Republican-leaning voters view their party favorably. And this shift has been really remarkable since January 2017 until now, double digits in approval rating for the Democratic Party. So that's going to be a big question. And then what are the tactics for Democrats to employ? In that same poll, more Democrats, roughly 3/4 or so, want them to fight to stop the Trump agenda. That was different than 2017. In fact, in 2017, about 3/4 wanted them to work with Trump, try to find bipartisan deals and the like. But the Democratic base has a different view. They don't believe their party is fighting hard enough. But the question is, they're in the minority. There's only so much they can do. But that's why it goes back to that first point. It was their first piece of leverage to fight back against Trump, to keep the government open. They needed their votes in the Senate to avoid a government shutdown by March 14th. They had essentially no strategy, no plan. They got nothing in return, and that's what is feeding a lot of this dissatisfaction within the Democratic Party among their own voters.
Yeah, well, later in the show, we're going to be talking to Democratic Congressman Seth Moulton. Of course, we'll be asking about all of this. Thank you so much, Mani Raju, for bringing us the latest, and welcome in person to the Situation Room. So rare to have you here in person.
What's going on, Kenny Cooper? How you doing, man? What's going on with you, brother? Be safe out there. I know you're out there on the road out in Fort Worth. Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Mama Deb? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you pulling up. Yeah, so Schumer is supposed to be one of the, if not the most powerful Democrat in the country. Supposed to. That's what they told us. But what is he actually doing? This dude is folding like a cheap suit. I mean, Democrats wanted a government shutdown. They saw it as their chance to hurt Trump and to rally their base. But what did Schumer do? I mean, he caved. And now his own party is turning against him. Schumer is so unpopular with his base that he had to cancel his own book tour because activists were planning to protest him at every stop. I wish he wouldn't have canceled it. That's just been more content for us to talk about, just more for us to talk about. But if Schumer's weak, then I don't know what to say about Timu Barack Obama and Hakeem Jeffries. I don't know what to tell you about that guy. He's basically non-existent. He's supposed to be the face of the House Democrats, but instead, he's invisible. Democrats thought that he would be there, next Obama, but in all actuality, the real Obama isn't even popular anymore. He doesn't have the same type of cachet. What's up, Quincy James? How you doing this morning, brother? Former President Barack Obama, he doesn't even have that type of cachet anymore. People aren't rocking with him. Voters aren't interested in another Obama copy-paste. They want someone who can lead, and Jeffries isn't it. Even within his own party, nobody respects him. So who do they respect in that party? Who's the future of that party? I don't know, man. I don't know who the future is, but take a look at this, man.
You ask yourself, who is going to be the standard bearer for Democrats going forward? There's nothing wrong with trying to find another leader after the devastating results of the past election. But I was stunned to see 30% overall don't have anybody, but 10% say AOC represents the values of today's Democratic Party.
Yeah, then you have 9% for Kamala Harris, 8% for Bernie Sanders. You got 6%, he wanted to oppose funding the government, Hakeem Jeffries. 4%, he's in the past, Obama. And then 4% for Jasmine Crockett, who unfortunately represents my home city of Dallas, Texas. I just don't think they're thinking right now.
Guys, do you all realize that they had Jasmine Crockett on the list? Jasmine Crockett is slated as the worst representative in Congress. She is the worst representative in Congress. She has the worst voting record in Congress. And I'm not talking about by what she votes for. I'm talking about the fact of just not doing the daggone job. She's at like 3.7. She's not even voting. She's not even out there. She's not even representing the Dallas-Fort Worth area, District 30 or Texas 30. She's not even doing the job. She doesn't show up and vote. I mean, it's crazy. And they have AOC as the face or the potential new face of the Democrat Party. They are in troubles. They are. There is a real war happening inside the Democrat Party. A real war. The thing is, unlike with the Republicans, who, yes, you thought Republicans had internal fights, and they do. And it's on substance more times than not. It's on substance. But for the Democrats, it seems like it's who can we pick that's even worse than the last guy. That's what it is. Shout out to Wade's Mustang Garage for the $2 super chat. It says that the Democrats are rats jumping off a sinking ship. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. But anyway, right now, the Democrat Party is splitting into two warring factions. The so-called establishment Democrats, which would consist of Schumer, Jeffries, Pelosi, basically the old guard, and the AOCs, the Sanders, the squad, the radical socialist Marxist wing who want a full-blown revolution. I mean, you guys recall, we showed this video of Ayanna Pressley, who is one of those people that are a part of the squad, who out of her own mouth said that she is looking for anybody who is serious about the business of censoring the American people. These are the people that are in line with the AOCs of the world. These people are extremely radical. These are also the people that are having the same types of conversations. Well, I guess everybody on the Democrat Party are doing that. They're having these same conversations that they were having pre-Emancipation Proclamation, where it's like, hey, who's going to pick the crops? Who's going to pick your fruit and berries? Who's going to, clean your house? Who's going to, Who's going to build your house? Who's going to do all the quote unquote menial jobs that Americans don't want to do? We have to have these illegal immigrants. We have to have this cheap and free labor. We have to have it. Because if we don't, the country is going to crumble. You know it's bad when you have black farmers out there fighting for either free and cheap labor. Any of you guys that are business owners, y'all know what time it is. The number one expense of all businesses is the labor cost. So if you can cut the labor cost, the amount of money that you can put into your coffers, I mean, it increases tremendously. This is where the Democrat Party is right now. And the thing is that, I was talking to one of my buddies this morning, and we were just talking, I was telling him, I was like, hey, the word states that, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And you have a lot of people that are falling for the rhetoric of the Democrat Party because they don't know any better. History is literally repeating itself right in our face. It's literally repeating itself. And the thing is that if you don't know the history, it is doomed or bound to repeat itself because there's so many people out there that don't know. So you got these, this radical, socialist wing, of the Democrat Party that flat out want a full-fledged revolution in this country. These are the people that seem to think that the Constitution is an outdated document. These are those people. And if you really take a look at them, both sides, that I mentioned, they're pretty similar, both sides. But right now, both sides within that party absolutely despise. They hate each other. MSNBC's or MSDNC's Simone Sanders just openly quit the Democrat Party on live TV because Schumer didn't choose to shut down the government. You can't make this stuff up, man. This lady openly quit the Democrat Party because Schumer did not shut down the government. You can't make this stuff up, man. These people they're losing it. They are losing it right now.
Signal on Wednesday that you want to fight, and then on Thursday you cave. And so now Republicans know that all they have to do is play Democrats, and it'll work.
$1 billion cut from Washington, D.C. I'm a D.C. resident, and I'm pissed.
Yep.
Okay, so, there's actually little that the Senate minority leader can say, and the 10 Democrats that voted with the Republicans can say, to appease somebody like me. I'm about to change my registration to independent, first and foremost. There's not another option for Senate or Democratic or Senate Democrats or House Democrats to effectively push back. This was it. They blew it. The Democratic Tea Party was born the same day that Chuck Schumer took to that podium to read that very well-crafted statement that told us he folded like a paper napkin.
Well, and that's why he signal on Wednesday.
Now, what we do know, she's in her feelings. She'll be voting Democrat, whoever they tell her to vote for. We know this. You know it. I know it. This is just all talk. This is all talk. But it is funny, though. Schumer's own base has turned against him. They've turned against him for failing or not being willing to, quote unquote, fight hard enough. Far left activists are demanding a total takeover of the party. And this is going to get interesting, man. It is, because they're turning to AOC. They're turning to AOC. This is the lady that just has basically destroyed her district up there, in New York. They fought tooth and nail to keep 25,000 jobs that would have came in through Amazon and all of the, ancillary companies that would have been supporting there. So you could be talking, 50, 60,000 jobs. And you got people in that district that right now are like, wait, but we need jobs. We don't have them up here. Businesses have been leaving New York City. They lost like 150 some odd businesses over the past, 3 or 4 years or so, that just decided that we can't do business here. And the same thing's happening right here in Maryland. You got companies that are deciding that we can't do business in this state because of the regulations. Y'all are trying to raise taxes and overtax us because y'all are wasting money. We can't be here. And now you got this crazy party turning to AOC. And according to, to that new poll, she is the most popular Democrat in the party. This is the same AOC who wants to abolish capitalism, who supports open borders, and she wants to defund the police. She actually thinks that defunding the police is a good idea, thinks that men should compete in women's sports, and wants 100% government control over the economy. She is not the leader of the Democrat Party's base. But if she takes over, honestly, say goodbye to the leftovers or to the leftover moderates. You can just say goodbye to that. Independents and working class Americans, who are still somewhat loyal to the Democrat Party, they're probably going as well. Because America does not want socialism. This country has grown and thrived the way it has because of capitalism. The thing is that you got to stop telling people that they're a victim and force them to go be a part of and be productive members of society. Find something that you can offer to society, excuse me, Find something that you can offer to society, some service, some product, and offer it. There is a plethora of opportunities in this country, but you can't keep telling people they're victims. You can't keep telling people that they're oppressed and basically telling them that you can't do or have anything because of what you look like. You can't. The bottom line is that Americans do not want socialism. It hasn't worked in any nation in the world. Everywhere that socialism has been implemented, next thing you know, here comes the soup lines. Here comes extreme poverty. Here comes tons of crime. Americans do not want socialism. I mean, think about 2028. Who do they have, man? Kamala polled lower than any other VP in history. And AOC is a socialist disaster waiting to happen. Pete Buttigieg, really? This guy can't fix potholes. I mean, who do they have? Who are the leaders? Because if it's AOC and company, they're in trouble, man. They have no future because the entire party is based on lies, division, destruction, death, radicalism. I mean, think about this, man. We just had a presidential candidate run and base their entire campaign on pregnancy termination. Pregnancy termination in the alphabet community movement. Those were the two things that this lady ran on. They literally hid this person for 2 months. The last time the DNC had a convention, they had a daggone pregnancy termination clinic in a bus outside the daggone building. We all got a chance to see it. They can't lie to us and say that this wasn't there. It was out there. That's why they're doomed. They are doomed. That's why they are in trouble. The Democrat base isn't looking for moderation. They're not. They don't want a return to the Clinton era centrism. They don't want it. They want full-blown government-run, radical left, far left, socialist, Marxist policies. They want leaders who openly embrace socialism. And if AOC or someone like her, rises to power within the party, the Democrats, man, they can kiss the male vote goodbye. Most men will say, let's not say the male vote. Let's say the straight male vote. The straight male vote is gone if AOC finds herself in a position where she's running for president. I mean, there is no path to a national victory if your party is run by far left ideologues who alienate mainstream voters, who thinks and calls, masculine men toxic, who want government overreach and full-fledged government regulation on everything, stifling free trade, stifling growth. And, like I said, man, the Democrat Party really has no use for, a masculine, strong man standing on his square. There isn't a single traditionally masculine leader in sight on that side of things. The top three names being floated is AOC, Kamala Harris, and Bernie Sanders. These are all far left progressives. There isn't a single moderate, high testosterone man in the mix at all. And that spells disaster for their electoral prospects. It does. It's not there. It is not there. And it is not something that the American people are interested in. It just isn't. They could use, a shot in the arm of some real, strength and testosterone, but the base won't allow it. The woke, hyper-progressive faction, has a stranglehold on the party. And they'll never accept a leader who doesn't conform to their, radical ideology. You can't do it. And as a result, the party is stuck, man. They can't pivot to the center without alienating their core supporters, and they can't keep moving left without hemorrhaging even more voters. They're in trouble. And speaking of a party based on lies and deceit, I want to dive into another major scandal that's sending Democrats into chaos right now. It all started when President Trump exposed what could be one of the most embarrassing and legally questionable moments of Joe Biden's presidency. And trust me, that in itself is saying a lot. We're talking about the auto pen scandal, and an issue that might seem small on the surface, but has massive implications. It's not just about whether Biden used an auto pen to sign official documents. It's about whether he was even aware of what was being signed in his name. And now Trump is taking action, declaring that pardons issued by Biden via auto pen are void, throwing the entire Democrat establishment into panic mode. The media is losing it. Legal experts are scrambling. And of course, the usual suspects like Adam Kinzinger and Adam Schiff, they're having full-blown meltdowns over Trump's latest legal challenge. So let's get into it real fast, because this is bigger than it looks. First off, let's answer the basic question. What the heck is auto pen? What the heck is it? An auto pen is a machine that replicates a signature. It's commonly used by celebrities, politicians, and even business leaders who can't be bothered to physically sign hundreds or thousands of documents. Think of it as, like a fancy stamp. Back in the day, people had stamps with their signatures and things of that nature on it. So think of it like that. It's basically what it is, except it produces an identical signature every time, making it nearly impossible to tell whether something was personally signed or just stamped out by a machine. Now, presidents, they have used auto pen before. That is true. It has happened. Harry Truman is believed to be the first U.S. president to use one, and it has been in use for decades. But here's the key issue. Not all documents are created equal. When it comes to routine paperwork, fine, an auto pen makes sense. But when we're talking about major executive orders, pardons, or national security decisions, that's a completely different situation. Completely different ballgame. The commander-in-chief is supposed to personally approve and understand what he's signing. That's why you're there. You're the president. You're supposed to know what's going on. The auto pen should never be used as a rubber stamp for decisions that shape the country's future. And that's exactly where Trump's issue lies. Was Joe Biden even aware that these pardons were issued under his name? Or was someone else running the show using Biden's names as a puppet signature? All while he had no clue what was happening. Now, we know that President Biden, when he was in office, he was on vacation 40% of his term. 40% of his term, almost 2 years of the 4 years that he was in office, the man was he was on vacation, riding bikes, eating ice cream. We know this. So, yeah, I think the current administration has a right to ask what the heck is happening. Seriously, what happened? And that's what, President Trump is asking right now. And Democrats, they're terrified of the answer. They're terrified of it.
Two questions for you. One on the flights, but first on the president tonight, saying that the pardons that were issued by President Biden preemptively to members of the January 6th committee, that they're now null and void. Have attorneys here at the White House told President Trump that he has the legal authority to undo a pardon simply because it was signed by auto pen, as he said?
The president was begging the question that I think a lot of journalists in this room should be asking about whether or not the former president of the United States, who I think we can all finally agree was cognitively impaired. I know it took people some time to finally admit that, but we all know that to be true, as evidenced by his disastrous debate performance against President Trump during the campaign. I digress on that. But the president was raising the point that that did the president even know about these pardons? Was his legal signature used without his consent or knowledge? And that's not just the president or me raising those questions, Caitlin. According to the New York Post, there are Biden officials from the previous White House who raised those questions and wondered if the president was even consulted about his legally binding signature being signed onto documents. And so I think it's a question that everybody in this room should be looking into, because certainly that would propose perhaps criminal or illegal behavior if staff members were signing the President of the United States autograph without his consent.
Biden is on the record talking about issuing preemptive pardons to these people.
But was he aware of his signature being used on every single pardon? That's a question you should ask the Biden White House.
Is there any evidence on that he wasn't aware of it?
You're a reporter. You should find out.
Okay,
Sean.
on the flight, so I have a flight.
Hey, Caroline Leavitt is on fire. That press conference and every press conference that she's had thus far has been on point. Masterclass, night and day from the previous administration and KJP, night and day. And Caroline Leavitt, man, she's absolutely right. Shouldn't the media, these so-called journalists, who want to get the bottom of things, shouldn't that be their job to do some research, go ask the right questions? Even if nothing comes out of the whole thing, shouldn't they want to know? Trump isn't just calling out Biden for using an auto pen. He's challenging the legitimacy of these pardons entirely. He's arguing that pardons must be personally reviewed and approved by the president. And if Biden didn't know about them, then they're not valid. They're not valid. Like I said yesterday, in the video that I did on this on the entire press conference here, Mike Johnson told a story of trying to get a hold of the president, trying to get an opportunity to speak to him. They wouldn't let him. When he finally got an opportunity to do so, he asked him, about a specific topic. The president said that he wasn't aware, although he had signed off on it. So this isn't something that could not have happened. We know that there were some shadowy figures running things. We know that. And when you know that the president took 40% time off, 40% of his time in office was on vacation, somebody had to be running the government during that time frame. Who was that person? So yes, this is a proper question. If Biden did not know about these pardons or executive orders or whatever it is that he signed via auto pen, then they are not valid. And that's where this story takes a wild turn, because this isn't just about the auto pen. It's also about Biden's use of preemptive pardons. Biden's team issued preemptive pardons to key players involved in the J6 Select Committee, Dr. Fauci, top military leaders like Mark Milley. These weren't normal pardons. They were issued before any charges were even filed. And here's the question. Can a president pardon someone for crimes they haven't been charged with yet? That's never been fully tested in court. And that's exactly why Trump is pushing this issue. Not just to question the auto pen's legitimacy, but to force the courts to weigh in on the preemptive pardon issue itself. If the court decides that preemptive pardons are unconstitutional, that opens the door to reinvestigating Fauci, Milley, and the entire J6 committee, and that's exactly what Democrats are afraid of. Among the Democrats who are in complete meltdown mode right now is Adam Kinzinger, who, let's be honest, is a full-blown Democrat at this point. Check out his response to this situation.
That Trump is threatening the January 6th committee again. Listen, this dude knows that this is the thing that embarrasses him. He won't admit it embarrasses him because he's trying to pretend like he didn't do anything. He's obsessed. He's more obsessed with me and Liz Cheney than his freaking golf score. Hey, Trump, bring it on, dude. You weak, whiny, tiny man who, by the way, I saw a picture of you this weekend. You're hiking up your pants now to really just below your man boobs, and you're sweating so much. Looking pretty bad there. But bring it, man. Stop with all the big mouth talking stuff. You're a grown man. You don't talk like one, but you're a grown man. Come on, dude. Bring it.
It sounded like he was going to cry in the car. Hey, he hit a couple octaves, a little too high, to be trying to come across like he's a tough guy. Seriously. And really, you're going to clown a man for hiking his pants up? I thought that's what all old guys do. Like, really? That's where we are today? That's where we are today, name calling and trying to clown the president for, pulling his pants up a little higher than maybe you would wear your pants. Goodness gracious, man. This Kissinger guy thinks that he's above the law. And a lot of these Democrats think that, man. A lot of them, they think that they're above the law. And we'll see if his establishment friends will be able to protect him. We'll see. We'll see. But you know what really gets me is the hypocrisy of it all. He had a completely different tune a while back. I mean, these people are so hypocritical, man. It's just really, really hard to take them seriously. It really is. It's just hard to take these people seriously because they're so hypocritical.
The only reason I know to ask for a pardon is because you think you've committed a crime.
I only know of one reason to seek a pardon, because you're worried that you're guilty, that you committed a crime.
The only reason I know to ask for a pardon is because you think you've committed a crime.
I only know of one reason to seek a pardon, because you're worried that you're guilty, that you committed a crime.
The only reason I know to ask for a pardon is because you think you've committed a crime.
Yeah. The hypocrisy with these people is unbelievable, man. It really is. Okay, so the only reason to seek a pardon is if you know you're guilty and you committed a crime. I got it. I think we all have it. I think we do. Adam Kissinger is one of the biggest rhinos out there. Between him and Liz Cheney. Between him and Liz. I don't know which one's worse, but they're both, I guess they're competing for the top spot. And they're J6 committee crybabies. Both of them. I mean, this dude immediately lashed out saying that, Trump's obsessed with him. I highly doubt that. But he lashes out, he's got all of these, pejoratives out there, bring it on, you're weak, you're a whiny man, all this foolishness. It's a bold statement considering he's the one having a meltdown over a single Trump post. Meanwhile, Adam Schiff, the same guy who spent years lying about the Russia collusion, jumped in to defend the J6 committee, claiming that they were proud of the work that they did. That's what he said. Oh, man. I tell you, man, this is a tweet right here from Mr. Adam Schiff there. It says the J6 committee are all proud of their work. Your threats will not intimidate us or silence us. That's what he said. But let's be honest, man. Schiff, Cheney, Kissinger, they're all panicking, man. They're in full-fledged panic mode right now. They know that if Trump challenges or if his challenge gains traction, they could be fully investigated for their shirty tactics during the J6 hearings. And it gets even better because CNN and MSDNC are now running full-blown damage control, trying to downplay the auto pen issue. One CNN analyst said, legally, this is dead on arrival. This is a ridiculous sideshow. That's what they said. They don't even try to hide their defense of the Democrat Party. They don't even try to hide it. They don't even try to act like they're looking at things, in a fair and objective way. They don't even try to act like it. Their job is to defend the Democrat Party at all costs. They're not even trying to hide it. And that's why I don't understand why people are still looking at these networks as the news or truth tellers. Their job is to push the propaganda and to carry water for the Democrat Party and for the DNC. That's their job. The entire Democrat machine is scrambling to dismiss it. Everybody, CNN, MSNBC, legacy media newspapers, they're all there. It's obvious what they're trying to do. It's obvious. Their entire job at this point now is to carry water and cover for the DNC. They're not even hiding it anymore.
Jonathan Lemire. Actually, we start off with a post that President Trump put out, 12:30 a.m.?
Yeah,
that brought a little news with it.
Yeah, a late night post here from President Trump, who says that all pardons issued by former President Joe Biden are void. Indeed, just a few short hours ago, Trump took to social media accusing his Democratic predecessor of using an auto pen to sign acts of clemency while in office, rather than doing so by hand, thus declaring Biden's pardons not valid. Additionally, Trump claimed without evidence that Biden failed to give consent for preemptive pardons issued to the 9 House Select Committee members that investigated. So, John Hammond, a few things need to be said here plainly. There's no authority that gives Donald Trump the ability to overturn his predecessor's pardons. The auto pen argument seems nonsensical, but this is clearly a warning in some way, particularly at those who on the January 6th committee, those who investigated the conduct of Trump and his allies, saying, and I'll just read from his Truth Social post, they should fully understand that they are subject to investigation at the highest level. And at minimum, John, it feels like another moment where Trump might be daring the courts, daring the judiciary. If he tries to see this through, it'll get appealed, and that appeal will be appealed, and eventually some court is going to have to either say yes or no, and we'll see what the administration, if they agree to abide by it.
Yeah, John. There's so, as you said, there are many points to be made here, and it would almost be a joke if it weren't so kind of horrifying. This is consistent with, to your point, the biggest story in our politics, the most foundational story, is the story that you're pointing to, which is the story of Donald Trump continuing to try to enlarge the scope of power that resides in the executive branch and in himself, essentially as something we never had in America before, as a king. And he seems to be looking for ways to take those challenges to the highest level. It's like he's almost seems to be headed for clashes that he's kind of begging for with the judiciary that would allow him to press against longstanding constitutional and precedential limits so that he can essentially break through those limits and establish effectively a new form of executive-centric government in America. That's, is all kind of like abstruse language that kind of expresses the drama in some sense and the foundational nature of more speech that the Justice Department.
Do we have John Hammond?
They cut him off.
We'll come back to Hammond in a moment. Like his signal, we lost his signal there. Perhaps the rain. Rev, let's talk about this, though. Where John was going, though, was clear and plain and dangerous. The idea that this is President Trump, trying to broaden the powers of the executive, he's already run over Congress, who's already seemingly happily seceded some of their powers to him. And now he's targeting the judiciary. And I know some Democrats, just in the hours since this came down, yes, they think it's laughable at its face, but let's see where it goes. And this won't be the end of it. It'll be another attempt, perhaps even to ignoring things like presidential term limits.
No, what strikes me is the paradox. At one level, he's trying to break through all of the norms and all of what are the boundaries of presidential power and establish himself as king. But at another level, he still engages in such petty stuff as taking shots at his predecessor. When you've won the election, you're in office, and you have these very major crises to deal with: Ukraine, inflation, etc. Yet you can't get over Biden in the fact that he beat you in 2020. You can't get over Kamala Harris. So it's the paradox. It's almost like he's too small to be as big as he wants to be. And I think that is the contrast that's most disturbing, because you don't know what Trump you're getting, the one that has this big picture of himself as being bigger than the government, or petty Trump that's still playing out his insecurities.
So to all these
Shout out to Chili Mac. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Thank you, sister. She says, why does the auto pen seem nonsensical? They're actually admitting that Biden wasn't of sound mind and body when in office, so auto pen makes sense. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you. I would agree with that, but then they would have to admit that someone else was running the government while he was, out, on vacation or wherever the heck he was. Even when he was there, I guess he wasn't there. So they would have to admit, and then people will have questions if the media actually does their job. Well, if it wasn't him, then who? All right. So asking whether Biden knew what the heck he was signing, that automatically means that he's going to wage war against presidential term limits. I mean, man, I just don't get it, man. You can't make this type of stuff up, man. Asking questions about Biden and whether or not he knew what the heck he was signing means that he's challenging term limits. Now, I'm for term limits, especially the House and the Senate. Those jobs were not meant to be careers. They were meant to be an opportunity for you to serve your nation, to serve your people, serve your district, serve your state. They were not meant to be careers where people get in office and they're there for 50, 60 years. It wasn't supposed to be like this. But these people are obviously in full-fledged panic mode. They are. Because, at the end of the day, this is about more than just an auto pen. This is about whether or not Joe Biden was actually running the nation, or if he was just signing or not signing whatever his handlers put in front of him. It's about whether Democrats were using preemptive pardons to shield themselves from investigations. And most importantly, it's about exposing how the establishment operates behind closed doors, where unelected bureaucrats and insiders make the real decisions while the president is just a figurehead. So what happens next? Trump has made it clear he's taking this fight to the courts. And even though the media is desperate to bury the story, the fact is this: Democrats, they're in total meltdown. They're in total meltdown mode, and that tells you everything that you need to know. Typically, where there's smoke, there is some fire. Typically. And that's why they're in complete meltdown mode over this, because they've been lying to the American people for a long time. And this story right here is furthering their loss of credibility. When I talk about legacy media, they've already lost a lot of their credibility, but it's waning. They're hanging on by a thread. There are still some people that are watching in these people and believing them. But speaking of blowing the lid off things, we're going to pivot real fast. We're going to pivot real fast to Conor McGregor. He was in an Oval Office the other day, channeling the same brash, no-filter energy that Trump thrives on, unscripted, talking about immigration, and what could have been here had Kamala won. You got to hear it for yourself, man.
Yeah. Americans stay here. Yeah. Americans stay here. Definitely.
Hey, Connor.
Oh. Hey.
Hey, hey, Connor, first of all, did you get into some time with President Trump? And also, I know there's some Irish immigrants in the U.S. without status. What do you think should happen to them?
The Irish immigrants?
There's some recent Irish immigrants without status.
Are we taking questions?
Taking over the podium.
Ireland and America, we are siblings. We consider America our big sibling. So it's important for Ireland to have a you know, be a peaceful, happy, prosperous country for the 40 million Irish Americans to have a place to visit, to come back to their home. So we wish for our relationship with the United States to continue, and we wish to be taken care of by the big bro. You know, the United States should look after its little bro, and that's how we feel.
How about the
Ireland and
trade?
America.
You worked out, there's some trade disputes between the U.S. and the EU, and how do you think?
We wish exemption. Ireland wish
Hey,
exemption.
we actually have some stuff that we
I
have
will
to
say,
do right now. Appreciate it.
Connor is here
Yeah.
to meet with the president. He'll be meeting with him later this afternoon. We couldn't think of a better guest to have with us on St. Patrick's Day. We're both wearing our green. This was not planned, but very festive. And as you know, I'll be having a briefing later at 1 o'clock, so we'll talk more about their meeting later. But he's going over to meet with some other administration officials. He's spending the day in Washington, D.C.
For sure.
So
I'm here to
it'll be
raise
fun.
the issues that people of Ireland face. You know, and it'll be music to the people of Ireland's ears, because never on the main stage has the issues the people of Ireland face been spoke. You know, our government has long since abandoned the voices of the people of Ireland, and it's high time that America is made aware of what is going on in Ireland. What is going on in Ireland is a travesty. Our government is the government of zero action with zero accountability. You know, our money is being spent on overseas issues that has nothing to do with the Irish people. The illegal immigration racket is running ravage on the country. There are rural towns in Ireland that have been overrun in one swoop, that have become a minority in one swoop. So issues need to be addressed, and the 40 million Irish Americans, as I said, need to hear this, because if not, there will be no place to come home and visit.
Whether you love the guy or hate the guy, you know, we know we've had some legal issues in the past and things of that nature. But we definitely dodged a bullet. We dodged a rocket, a missile in November. Literally. The same, unfortunately, can't be said for Ireland, though. If Kamala had won, we might have seen a softer touch on borders. I'm not even going to say might have. We would have seen more open door policies. Exactly the kind of thing that McGregor is slamming right now. But the same can't be said for Ireland. They're in the thick of it. And McGregor's not wrong to sound the alarm. He's not. The government's been MIA while rural towns get swamped, and the numbers back him up. Tens of thousands of asylum seekers piling in, straining housing, jobs, everything. Now think about here in the United States. When you think about, you know, the city, what was that, Springfield, Ohio, certain places down in Alabama, you know, where it was almost like they flew a lot of these people in. Flu's not the right word. Neither here nor there. They sent a lot of people to these areas, and all of a sudden, it's a full-fledged, you know, just drain, you know, on these small towns, these small cities. You know, over in Europe right now, they have a full-on migrant crisis over there. I read something the other day that, you know, and somebody said it, you know, hey, what's going on, TA? Somebody had mentioned, they may try to make it funny, but, you know, they were like, you know, over in Spain, you know, they fought tooth and nail, you know, to get the Muslims out of there. And now they've welcomed them back, you know, with open arms. You see what's going on, you know, over in England. I mean, the UK in general, you know, when you look at what's happening in England, when you look at what's happening in Ireland, you look at what's happening in Scotland, it is a mess over there. It's a mess. Since the mid-2010s, Europe's been hit with a wave of refugees and migrants, especially after the 2015 crisis. 1.3 million people flooded in, mostly from Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq. These people were fleeing wars, you know, fleeing countries, you know, full of chaos. Countries like Germany, Italy, Greece, they took the brunt of it, but it stretched their resources thin. You know, so there's housing shortages, there's job competitions, cultural clashes. I mean, look at 2022, the Ukraine crisis. Over 58,000 Ukrainians landed in Ireland alone after Russia invaded. And adding to the pressure, it's not just Ireland, France, Sweden, Hungary. They're all wrestling with parallel societies, forming poverty, you know, risk for undocumented folks, and governments are doubling down on open borders. So I don't know if you can blame them, because a lot of us, you know, in certain places, we're feeling the same exact things. So I honestly, I don't blame them. for feeling the way that he feels. I don't.
Metric available to us has shown that the government of Ireland currently has failed the people of Ireland. In 10 years, Dublin city centre has gone from one of the most safest cities in Europe to one of the most dangerous. So shame on him for saying that, speaking down on an Irishman. I won't speak about him personally. Throw a jab, I could throw many jabs at them. I could throw jabs handily at them. However, I speak on the metrics, and the metrics show they've failed the people of Ireland. They do not represent the people of Ireland.
Conor,
and I'm
what
here.
do you say to people who feel it's inappropriate for you to be here, given...
God bless Ireland, God bless America.
Shout out to Eric Smith for the $5 super chat. He says, the truth is they are not refugees. They are Islamic colonizers playing a long game. You may be onto something there, Eric, because we've watched some stories, and we've had a chance to see videos here in this country. We'll talk about Europe. We'll continue the conversation about Europe, but here in this country, there is a representative up in Maine. I cannot think of her name, but she was of Somali. I think she was Somalian, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, maybe either Somalian or Sudanese. But she said that although she's in government here in the United States, her number one goal is to focus on what makes sense and what's going to further the agenda of the country that she came from over in Africa. Same thing when you hear, Ilhan Omar speak, when you hear, some of these other members, what's her name? Rashida Tlaib. Same thing. Their allegiance is to their home countries, not this nation. That's why in this country, I believe that one must be a naturalized citizen, born and raised here in this country, and been here at least, 1 to 2 generations. Your allegiance needs to be here if you want to serve in any capacity of government in this nation. That's just my opinion. Because when you look at what's going on over in, England, when you look at the mayor of London, is Muslim. There was a list. I can't pull it up right now. I might be able to pull it up here in a second. But there was a list. Let me see if I can pull it up on X. But there was a list on X of the people in charge in London. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Or in England. Give me a second. Oh, yeah. This right here. Give me 1 second. Share screen. I mean, this is crazy. And this is ultimately what they would like to do here. So, Eric, you are on to something here. I don't know if you guys can see this fully, but as you can see here, it says right here, the mayor of London is Muslim. The mayor of Birmingham is Muslim. The mayor of Leeds is Muslim. The mayor of Blackburn, Muslim. Sheffield, Oxford, Luton, Oldham, Rockdale, all Muslim. London in 2040, the fall of England. Hey, Eric, you're on to something. You're on to something. Over in Ireland, in just 10 years, Ireland's got, they got over 13,000 homeless people. It's up by 16% from last year alone, and a housing shortage of 256,000 homes. And that's what happens when you let illegal immigration run wild and unchecked in your nation. Names like, Muhammad are topping baby list, which is okay. But in Ireland, the problem is Europe's always been a ticking time bomb. And you bet if we end up with, the AOCs of the world here, it's coming for us too. Shout out to Bob Paul for the $2 super check. He says, thank you, Jesus. You have a live stream every day. Yeah, well, Monday through Friday. We try to, keep things, we try to, give a little bit of break over the weekend. But fortunately for us here, we're, so blessed, to have the administration that we have today, because had Kamala won, from the looks of it, it looks like they had zero intent. They were not going to give up on this open border socialist garbage that's ruining Europe right before our eyes. And while, the Democrats, they're facing an identity crisis of historic proportions, we got to ask ourselves, isn't AOC, isn't Ilhan Omar, is a Jasmine Crockett, is that really what we need in this country? The answer to that, in my opinion, is a double, HE double hockey sticks no. We do not need these people, but only time will tell. Only time will tell. But it's time to get back to common sense policies, common sense thinking, so we make sure that what's happening over in Ireland never happens here. We know what time it is with these people. We know what they want to do. If you guys have taken the time to, watch any of the debates, up there, in Canada, and they're talking about, the one world government, they're debating, they're having open conversation, open dialogue about it in their debates. I don't know if you guys have had the chance to see it. Let me see if I can pull it up. I want to share this with you. I know I've talked about it on the channel a couple times, but let me see if I can pull it up on X. But they've been talking about this. I don't know if I'll be able to quickly pull it up. Damian Cross says, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. He says that if you are not a naturally born citizen, you should not be allowed to hold office. I'm in agreement with you on that. I'm in 100% agreement with you there. I am. Let me see if this is it. Okay, let me share this with you. This is a clip with Jordan Peterson. I know some people do not like Jordan Peterson, but this isn't the reason why I want to share this with you guys. But I want you guys to hear this. This is the vision in Canada.
That the president's doing this. I hope that the prodding is actually inspiring a healthy response from Canada to say, because I think the question goes to Canada, goes, great, if under the Trudeau vision that Canada is just part of this global monoculture, well, then who cares if you become part of the United States? That's just one step towards becoming part of a global government. I mean, it's a soullessness that got exposed, that creeped in, and you realize our country, like when you get down to what is a nation, it's got a soul, it's got a culture, it's got a set of traditions, it's got a set of values. That's a healthy response from Canada to say, because I think the question goes to Canada, goes, great, if under the Trudeau vision that Canada is just part of this global monoculture, well, then who cares if you become part of the United States? That's just one step towards becoming part of a global government. I mean,
there you have it. They're having these conversations in Canada right now. They're having these conversations in Canada right now. Mono government, one world government. They're having these conversations. They are trying to tenderize the Canadian citizens to believe that this is a path that makes sense. You can see it right here. Uniparty exposed, globalism first, Canada last. You can see it. It's right there. This is the direction that they want the entire world to go. People need to wake up. I don't think people really understand what's at stake. I don't think people do. Why do you think all of these Western nations have this full-fledged mass, immigration happening in their nations? Why do you guys think this? It's on purpose. It is on purpose. This is by design. And the thing is that at this point, they're not even trying to hide it. Here's Trudeau right here saying that, talking about global
putting dollars
citizenship.
in pockets for people. They don't want to hear about, oh, if they just, pay a little more for an electric car, then that'll be protecting the environment. They can't pay a little more for an electric car right now. There's a sense that affordability is in direct contrast with our moral responsibility to protect the planet. And that is something that, unfortunately, people have been amplified and used propaganda, misinformation, disinformation, and flat out lies to scare people into saying, oh, no, we got to take care of our household budget and bottom line first and environment second. And that's everyone sort of understands.
Yeah, these people, this one world government, they're pushing this big time. They're pushing it big time. This is what they want. This lady right here, she is a huge proponent of this global government. Huge proponent of it. This lady right here. This is what they want. I wish I could find a debate. For whatever reason, I can't seem to find that debate. Let me see if this is it. This might be it right here. Nope.
The entire debate was based on Donald Trump.
Okay, that's not it. I can't find it. I mean, I'm sure I could find it, but I'm sure you guys don't want to sit on here while I'm searching. I have to go through and listen to a couple of things. This one might be it.
The kinds of I would say very quickly that we can't allow the kinds of comments about immigrants that we're hearing coming out of the US at the moment. We can't have that in Canada. It is very important that we say it because some people want us to say the same kinds of things. That's unacceptable.
That's not it. Yeah, I can't find it right now. I'll make sure I'll have it, for tomorrow, because I want to. Maybe we'll start the show off with it because I want you guys to see it. Canada's on board with this global government, this one world global government. They're on board with it, and a lot of these countries, out in Europe, they're on board with it. This is what they want. They want this. They want full-fledged control of the people so they can have people in this, subservient, status. And it's really one of those things where basically you will own nothing and you will be happy about it. And I think it was Dr. Silla that mentioned it, and she was talking about a lot of the Muslim nations still have slavery. And you're absolutely right. But you think about what's going on over here in the left. We literally have a party of people advocating for slavery in the United States of America right now. When you have a Nancy Pelosi come out there and say, who gonna pick our crops? When you have a Jasmine Crockett come out there, and say, who's gonna make the beds, who's gonna clean the houses, who's gonna, pick the fruit and berries and all these other types of things. You literally right now have a party. You have people in this country that are advocating for slavery in the United States of America, free and cheap labor. And it ain't a race thing. It's a party thing because you have black people, you have white people, you have Asians, you have Latinos, Latinas. You have a lot of these people that are a part of this party. They are advocating for this. The conversations that they are having today are the same types of conversations that they were having in the mid-1800s. Not a lot has changed. And the thing is that you have a lot of people out there that are unaware, they are ignorant, meaning, and I don't say that to denigrate, I say that to say that they just do not know. Because if you do not understand the history, you're almost, it's going to repeat it. The likelihood of you repeating it is high. And the word says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. So when people don't understand what they're supporting, what they don't understand is that, yeah, by supporting these people, you are supporting human trafficking. You are supporting, labor camps. You are supporting, free and cheap labor in this nation, all so you can keep your smoothies cheap. I mean, think about the conversations that these people were having in the mid 1800s. Hey, if we let these black people go, if we let these black slaves go, who's going to build for us? Who's going to pick crops for us? Who's going to take care of our children? These are the kind of conversations that they were having in the mid 1800s. And fast forward to 2025, we are having these conversations today. And it's unbelievable. And the people that are advocating for this are the same people that will call those of us that are vehemently against this, they would call us racist. Think about it. Not much has changed. If Frederick Douglass came back today, if he could come back today and just listen to the rhetoric of the Democrat Party, he would say, my God, not much has changed with these people. These are the same types of conversations that I was fighting against, that I was speaking against in the mid to close to the mid 1800s. I mean, it is crazy. It is unbelievable that they're having these types of conversations today. It really is. It is unbelievable. And what makes it even more unbelievable is the people that are still supporting this. Sad, man. It really is, man. It is sad. And you have a swath of people that are brainwashed. You let Jasmine Crockett, who on the House floor talked about, how her people built this country and, and they were talking about, the Jim Crow, this, that, and the third, and all this other kind of stuff. Lady, you represent the Jim Crow party. And now you're advocating for more of it to be implemented in this nation. They've already caught places. Tom Homan talked about this. They've found places where there was human trafficking. There were actual people being forced to work for next to nothing. It's crazy, man. It really is. It's a sad day in America when you have people who will tell you that my people were enslaved, but then also advocate for slavery. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable that you will have people that will yell from the rooftops that, we're owed this, that, and the third. My people were enslaved. We built this, but then turn around in another breath and advocate for more slavery of another people. It is unbelievable that this is happening in this nation right now. It really is. I mean, you can't make it up, man. If I didn't hear it with my own ears, I don't know if I would believe it. But they're not even hiding it anymore. Y'all watched the clip yesterday. Nancy Pelosi said, why y'all sending them up north? We need them down south to pick the crops. This is crazy. Ed, great question. The thing is that there are a lot of people out there that their hate for President Trump, their hate for the Republican Party clouds their judgment. So I don't think that they actually see or hear what comes out of these people's mouth. I don't. Shout out to Bob Paul for the $2 super chat. He says, Judge Amy Coney Barrett votes left, turned on Trump. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. But hey, she's in the spot now that she knows that, hey, they can't do anything to her. They can't get her out of there. They can't force her to leave. I mean, it's just, it's really, really wild, man. It really is. It really is. But I appreciate you guys pulling up as always. Shout out to my Blues, Zephyr K9, T.A. Kasky pulling up for a little bit. Shout out to UB. I appreciate you pulling up, keeping things civil in the chat. Shout out to all the ARP family members. Appreciate you all, as always, supporting the channel. I appreciate the love. Appreciate everybody that supported the channel today financially. Appreciate all of you guys that, support the channel financially. I really, really appreciate it. And, I definitely appreciate the support. I definitely do. All right, man. Well, hey, we're going to get out of here, man. We'll shut the show down today. Hopefully tomorrow, we'll get some guests on tomorrow to discuss some topics. I hope you guys had a great St. Patrick's Day yesterday. I didn't do anything really. I don't go out, man. I guess at my age at this point, man, going out is just such a hassle. It's just not my cup of tea. And it's not my cup of tea. But yeah, Eric Smith, the JFK files are supposed to come out. They said they're going to come out around 12, 80,000 documents. Good luck going through all of that. But, as always, man, I appreciate you guys pulling up, man. I hope you guys have a great rest of the evening. And I definitely appreciate the support. What's going on, Nina? How you doing today, sister? Appreciate you pulling up. As always, you have a wonderful day as well. Hope all is well with you. For sure. But I appreciate you guys pulling up, man. We'll catch up with you guys tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. EST. As always, Lord willing, I will do that. But I definitely appreciate the love, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in today. Keep God first in your life. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all. Peace.
Vibes so